Hi, Eric Wilson here, independent licensed mechanic with 30 years of experience. In the next 6 to 7 minutes, I'm going to show you the inside story on this 2018 F150. Now, coming in on the front right tire, you've got about 70-80% tread on all season radio, so lots and lots of power, lots of tread. Now, this is your right lower ball joint, and it is tight, critical, because it's part of the chassis. This is your right outer tie rod, and this is the most important thing because it's the only thing that holds the wheel to the steering. It is tight. This is your, now if you follow this shock up here, this is your shock and part of your strut. It's full of oil. If it was leaking, you'd see it leaking all the way down here, and it's bone dry, so that's a good sign. This is your outer CV boot, and again, full of grease. If it was ripped, you'd see it right away, so that is good and dry. This is your inner CV boot. A little hard to see there. I'll get this. Okay, and this is your, sorry there. This is your inner CV boot, and again, full of grease, and if it was leaking, you'd see it right away. So that is good and dry. Now, this is a leak point right here. If it was going to leak, it's going to leak right here because it's where the drive shaft comes out of the axle, and this is bone dry. So far, leak-wise, suspension-wise, no problems. Your spring suspension on your front left is intact, no brakes. Your upper ball joint, let's get a different angle for that. Okay, your right upper ball joint is tight, spring suspension is intact. Brakes, you got about, I'd say about 25,000 K left on your front brakes. Your right sway bar link connected from here to here, doing its job. All your brake hoses are intact, no cracks. Now, speaking of leaks, this is the bottom of the transmission. You can see for yourself, good and dry. This is the bottom of the motor. A little harder to see, but good and dry. So if it was leaks, you'd see it right away. So leak wise, we're in great shape. Now this is one of two catalytic converters. Now the problem is that people are reaching in here and they're going cut and they're going cut, and you've lost yourself a cat in about a $1,500 repair. It's epidemic. Now, I've got a simple system to protect cats from getting stolen. Ask the dealer. It costs you nothing. Simply, if you buy the vehicle, he'll give you my number, I'll put it on, and we'll stop the cat from getting stolen in the first place. Whole lot easier. Just another quick angle of the bottom of the motor and the tranny, good and dry. Now, coming across to your left front tire, again, about 70-80% tread on all season radios, so lots and lots of tread. Your left sway bar link connected from here to here, doing its job. Your left outer CV boot, good and dry. Your left inner CV boot, good and dry. And more importantly, a leak point is right here. If this was going to leak, it's going to leak right here, and you can see for yourself, bone dry. So no leaks on the driveway in this baby, which is good. About 20,000 K on your front brakes, and your right upper ball joint right there is intact and tight. Your spring suspension is good. So far, so good. Okay, your right outer tie rod is tight. Your left outer tie rod, back up. Left outer tie rod is tight. Your left lower ball joint is tight, and your shock, if you follow it up, it is good and dry. So no leaks, no suspension issues, good brakes, good tires. So far, so good. Okay, coming behind the left rear tire, again, about 70-80% tread on all season radios. The left rear shock, if you follow it up, that's full of oil. If it was leaking, you'd see it right away. Your left rear spring suspension, no cracks, no breaks. Your rear brakes, you're looking at about same as front, about 20-25,000 K on your brakes. Now another leak point would be at the bottom of the diff right here, and it's bone dry, as you can see. So spring wise, suspension wise, brake wise, I'm not seeing any issues on this. There's your spare tire. You do have a class 3 hitch, which is very handy. Okay, and coming across to your right rear tire, same, about 70-80%, good amount of tread on your all the way around. And coming behind the your right rear suspension is intact, no breaks, no cracks in your springs. The exhaust very clean. I'm not even seeing any surface rust on it, which is great. Yeah, so far so good. Your brakes, again, about 20,000 K. So for about 20,000 K all the way around on your brakes, you got a good amount of brakes left. And your right rear shock, if you follow it up, okay, full of oil. If it was leaking, you'd see it dripping all the way down here, and it is good and dry. I'm not seeing leaks, issues, brakes, suspension, or anything on this so far. Okay, with the motor running, you've got 226, 156. You do have a crack across the bottom of your windshield there. It's not in the sight of vision, but it is there. Okay, and your nice and clean dash, and let's check out the most important thing of all. How cold is the AC? That's what I want to know. Okay, come on, baby. Taking a second for it to cool down here. Yeah, you know what? You need a bit of a recharge on your AC there, because it's not as cold as it should be. Anyway, that's no big deal. Just asking for here, let me try one more thing here. Yeah, no, there you go. Okay, yeah, I had it on the wrong setting. AC is nice and cold. Okay, but the motor running. Okay, with the motor running, I haven't heard anything of any concern in this motor. It is 5.0, very rock solid, been around for a long time. So my estimation of this vehicle is really, I don't see any issues other crack in the windshield. That's about the best I can tell you. But other than that though, hopefully this will help you make an informed decision. Now, by all means, ask the dealer, if you decide to buy the vehicle, ask the dealer about the free catalytic theft protection, because it'll save you a ton of grief. And I've also got a simple system I've been putting on for 20 years. It saves 10% fuel savings, and I will put this on again, this will be put on for you for free. 10% fuel savings. Just ask the dealer. Thanks, and have a good one.